What's up, A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. Going to have a fun show. This is a topic that I've been sitting on for a couple weeks, maybe 3-ish weeks, where I saw something, heard something on a podcast, Peyton Manning talking about his rookie year, and a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh, that sounds a lot like the Cam Ward situation right now going into his rookie season. So I will play you that audio from Peyton Manning discussing his rookie year, what he learned, and what that allowed him to become. Landon says, Peyton Manning rookie year, don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. No, we're going to have this is going to be a productive conversation. I think it's going to be a really strong topic, a strong conversation about what Cam Ward can do this year and what that means long-term, what it means short-term this season, as we are just days away from the Titans at the Broncos. Easton, you are going to be there. And then, people are already asking, when is Zach coming back? If you missed it yesterday, Zach returns from his summer hiatus on Friday. So tomorrow's show will be Easton and JT doing their season preview. Friday's show will be Zach and myself doing our season preview. So we've got topics on topics on topics. And then we have a pregame show. So we have a lot of things over the next 2.5 days, just unloading the clip on preseason takes, predictions, takes, thoughts, throwing it all out there, getting on the record. It's going to be a loaded couple of days to wrap up this week. Easton, welcome in. Hope you are having a good start to your week. It's already Wednesday, which is crazy. That's what Labor Day does for you, which is great. Because that means that the NFL starts tomorrow night. How about that?
How about
Cowboys,
that?
Eagles. How about that?
Good morning, Austin. Yeah, it is. It's one of those weeks where you got to recalibrate your brain on what day it is. And I've been panicked ever since getting back from a bachelor party trip this past weekend. The one last hurrah for me in terms of what, not really for the guy who's, I suppose, a bachelor. That's kind of the whole point of the trip. But also for me, because we're hunkering down for the long winter here now that we are done with trips. At least I am. The next trip I'm taking will be football related this weekend, as you pointed out. And from here on out, it will be all football all the time throughout the rest of the year, which you won't hear me complaining about. I can't wait for this regular season. Going to be a ton of fun, but a week like this one, it's like, oh, I'm behind already because I think it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Got to get on it. And so motivated to talk as much about the Titans as humanly possible, write as much about the Titans as humanly possible between now and Sunday's game. Excited to be with you on the morning show. Excited to be finishing up our preseason episodes. The what comes before the penultimate episode of the preseason today. So we're almost done. We're almost the feeling in my body that I will get when we're sitting here loading up a morning show where you and I are going to be talking about real football that took place, showing things from a game, talking about real stats. It's I can't tell you how excited I am. So we got a good one for you this morning, though, because you have been sitting on this one for a while. Looking forward to diving into all of that. But you need to like the show this morning. That is the number one thing at the top of the show we need you to do. Like that show. I know that a number of folks are starting to pile back in. We know Zach's coming back from his hiatus. I'm sure many of you coming back from your summer hiatus, locking back in for the Titans season. Maybe you're catching up on a number of things from the summer, trying to get back up to speed. Welcome back. We're happy to have you. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride. If you've forgotten the drill, you should know that you need to like the show. That is the number one thing on YouTube and on Facebook we need you to do. So like that show, jump into the comments because we want to hear from you this morning. Let us know if you're coming back, and we'll welcome you back with open arms and make sure that you have liked it. And that's the easiest way that you can help us this morning. So with that, Austin, let's get it started.
So officially welcome to A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com. And we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. You can follow us there at A to Z Sports. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Give us a 5-star Google review because that goes a long way for us. We are also powered by BTA Sports, and I have already made a bet because of the analytics that I got from BTA Sports. We'll talk about that throughout the show, but I have to thank our other sponsors, and we welcome some new friends on the show yesterday as we kick off football season. But our oldies and goodies, Wilson County Hyundai, make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, boneandjointtn.org. The Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short, so just go buy a golf cart. 2 locations to serve you locally, Columbia and Gallatin, BoteroCarts.com. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows and you get 2 windows for free, and you make no payments until the stadium is open downtown for 2 years. How about that? WindowNation.com. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, so we're going to have a good show today. Can we get more?
We get a PSA on this real quick?
Yes. You may just good dive into it?
Might as well.
Okay, so BTA Sports, so their new title sponsor of the show, is their first week with them. So what they are, and I'll just go ahead and throw their graphic up here because why not? They're here for us. They're on our team. They are not on the sport. They're not a sports book. They're an analytics company that wants us to be smarter at our sports bets and fantasy football. It's not just sports bets, fantasy football. So like yesterday, okay, in my sports book, I had a parlay boost token that I could use, but I had to have at least 3 legs, and that token had to be the parlay had to be at least plus 400 or higher. So you gotta, it's riskier, right? So what did I do? I went to BTA Sports. I went to my app that I downloaded, and you can get the link in the description on Facebook and on YouTube in the description right here on the video. You download the app. I did that. I'm opening it right now. So what I ended up doing was I took let's see, I had 3 NFL games. I took the game coming up tomorrow night, Dallas and the Eagles. I look and see, the Eagles total is 26.5. It had a 73% chance of hitting 26.5. So I took that in my parlay. I went and I found another thing on Sunday that I know that BTA likes, which is, let me find it, New Orleans plus 6.5. They are big on the Saints plus 6.5 hosting the Cardinals. So I put New Orleans plus 7.5. Give myself a little wiggle room there in my parlay. And then I think the other one I put was the Colts total under 24.5. That BTA Sports, all of these things, these 3 individual things had north of a 65% chance of hitting individually. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do a parlay boost where it's plus 400, I boost it up to plus 500 or whatever it is. It's got a 38% chance of hitting. So I was like, that's pretty good. So that's what BTA Sports is in a nutshell.
Yeah, and we're going to, the plan is to have the BTA Sports guys on to have them explain on the YouTube channel at some point what exactly their system is. So if you're really interested in the back end of it, that will be coming soon. But it's just, you hear pro bettors, you hear people, they're professionals in the stock market talking about how they have AI-driven systems that they use, analytics. That's what this is. And it's super refreshing whenever you can get a professional sponsorship, especially with a group in sports betting that is on, as you pointed out, Austin, on our team. This is not the sports books who will be sponsors and they'll glad hand and be like, we want you to win money. Yeah, I'm sure you do. No, these guys really want you to win money. They're working hard to help us win money. So I cannot wait to use them all season long.
Yes, it's really fun. And so we'll talk more about that, but we gave them extra love off the top because they are a great partner for us. And it's not just for sports betting. If you're a fantasy football player, if you do daily fantasy, that's a big deal with what BTA Sports can be doing. And it's $99 for the whole season for the NFL. So, and that's with that link, and use our code ATOZ, and you get an extra 14-day free trial on top of it, and then $99 for the whole season. That's only for September. All right, so let's dive into this topic overall here because I'm a podcast guy. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I think that's probably no shock to anybody. I don't listen to music. I listen to podcasts in my downtime. So I'm listening. I'm scrolling through my feed. I'm, new dad, 6 months old, almost coming up. I've got different hours of the day that I'm listening to podcasts. So I'm scrolling through. I find Bussin' with the Boys posts their best of Bussin'. It's like a recap, and they repost their Peyton Manning interview from last summer. So it's like May or June of 2024. I'm like, all right, I haven't listened to that. Actually, I don't even think I've hit it. So I listened to this, and Peyton Manning said a couple things about his rookie year that I was like, oh, that rings a couple bells. And so let's go ahead and play this clip. It's Will Compton asking a question to Peyton Manning with Taylor Lewan there in Knoxville from over a year ago, talking about Peyton's rookie year in which he set the interception record in the NFL with 28 and how it hasn't been broken yet because players or coaches take out quarterbacks and don't let them finish seasons when they get off to a bad start like that. But here is Peyton Manning talking through his rookie year situation and how that set the table for his overall career.
Starters, so put all these guys in there now.
Kind of like as competitors, when you have an up and down year like that, and then you're 3-13, you're like you were their first round pick, and you do set the record for interceptions. Like the mental fortitude on trying to keep the noise out of your head going into that next year. Because I was obviously young then, but now thinking about it, if a rookie quarterback is breaking that record, they're just getting drug across the mud.
It was tough, and I think playing in Indianapolis probably would have been different had I been with the Jets. If I would have been with the Jets, and Parcells would have benched me way before the 16th game. But I don't know, maybe somewhere Indianapolis at the time being a smaller market, maybe that helped me a little bit. So it was bad. We were playing on the CBS broadcast team every weekend.
At noon.
There was no Madden, there was no Nance or Summerall or Phil Simms coming to Indy. No Monday Night TV. So, but yeah, look, it's the kind of season that can kind of make or break you, right? And we actually were in some games. Everybody, nobody was getting up to play us, right? We played the Niners that year. Steve Young, Jerry Rice. We played the Jets, who went to the AFC Championship. They had us as a circled win. So we actually had some fairly close games. We'd blow it in the end. But that's what I kind of went off of. I'm like, I think I actually can do this if I just don't throw 3 interceptions in the first half. So it didn't break me. And my coaches, Jim Moore, I had a tough coach, but he was loyal. He stuck with me. He said, "Hey, stay in there. Keep learning. We're going to fight through this thing." And sure enough, we did. I'm not sure if it's been, but at the time, it was the biggest turnaround in history from 3-13 to 13-3. There's no way I'd do that if I don't play all those games as a rookie. Mm-hmm. So I tell all these college quarterbacks, we were talking earlier about that camp that we have, and I tell all these guys, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Don't let a couple bad seasons break you, right? Just keep learning from it and keep getting better.
Yeah.
So look, Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions as a rookie, and the title of the show is Titans could be in for a Peyton Manning type rookie year with Cam Ward. I'm not saying Cam Ward is going to throw 28 interceptions as a rookie and break Peyton's record. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think there's a lot of things in that 2 minutes and 9 seconds of Peyton talking about his rookie year on Bussin' with the Boys over a year ago that make me think Titans 2025. It's the fact that it's number 1 overall pick, terrible football team, picking number 1 overall, obviously. You got all these CBS broadcast team E, right? That's another one. Small market team in Nashville, Indianapolis. There's 4. And then you've also got the fact that that they're not on any primetime games. There's 5 right there off the top. And Cam Ward's mentality. Because what Peyton Manning said there that I thought immediately was like, ding, Cam Ward's got kind of the same way is, man, we lost a lot of close games. If I don't throw 3 picks in the first half, I don't do all these dumb things in the first half, maybe we could have won more. And I'm looking at Cam Ward at what he did at Miami, and he only threw 7 interceptions all year at Miami, but there was a couple games during the Hurricane season last year, Cam Ward against Virginia Tech and Cal, of the 2 that stand out the most, where, a dumb pick against Cal, had some silly mistakes against Virginia Tech early on, and Miami was able to win those games in dramatic fashion. Late at night with some heroics at the end, but he only had to be heroic because he was bad in the first half or made some bad mistakes early on. And so that made me think of Cam Ward knows how to respond to adversity. And so Peyton Manning obviously did too. So I think there's a lot of similarities here, Easton. We have a question we're going to get to here about Cam Ward's rookie year, but what's your overall big picture thoughts on the topic at hand when it comes to what Peyton Manning was talking about his rookie year and Cam Ward's current situation?
The topic and the title of the show are pretty funny because at first you see it and it's like, oh, clickbait. Yeah, I'm sure Cam Ward's going to have a Peyton Manning year. And you think about it for a second and you're like, wait a minute.
Rogue gamer. This is clickbait. No, just chill out. Think more, rogue gamer.
No, I know. But then you think about it for a moment and you realize it's actually the inverse. It's like, wait a minute. I sure hope he doesn't have a Peyton Manning rookie year because it was quite bad. They won.
But what was year 2? What did Peyton Manning say? If I didn't play all those games and learn all those lessons, there's no way they would have gone from 3-13 to 13-3 in year 2, right?
Right. But that's the rub. That's what we're talking about this morning is even though that happened, and obviously that's some serious cope logic. It's like, well, if he only wins 3 games this year, that means that next year, like obviously not everybody's going to do what Peyton Manning did year 1 to year 2. But the reason why I really hope he doesn't have a Peyton Manning rookie year, and I'm sure everybody hopes he doesn't have a Peyton Manning rookie year where you throw 20 interceptions, you win only 3 games, is because it's 2025. And in the modern NFL, that is the rub that Peyton was talking about right there, is that these guys just don't get the leash that they used to. And NFL teams don't have the patience they once had to develop guys. It's why you're seeing, it's why you're seeing kind of a shift in the way that college quarterbacks approach their college careers, how long they choose to stay before coming out. For a moment there in the past 10 years, you saw guys rushing to get out right before NIL, really rushing to get out. Let me do 2 years, high profile SEC school, and then let me get to the NFL. And it's not that they all came in and failed, but the raw developmental draft pick, the Trey Lance and the Anthony Richardsons of the world, it didn't go well for them. And it's not to say that it would have gone well if they stayed in college longer, if they had played in Peyton Manning's era when, teams were willing to give you 3 years and 30 starts before they gave up on you. Because Zach Wilson literally got that and he didn't work out. So it's not to say that they definitely will if you just have patience. But I think it's fair to say that a number of these guys more recently have been, as many people in the NFL have said, as Dave Ziegler, Titans assistant GM, pointed out to us in an article I ran a couple of weeks ago, the saying goes, more franchises fail young quarterbacks than young quarterbacks fail franchises. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is right in the hip pocket of that idea of Peyton Manning would potentially have not, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, right? But would Peyton Manning have ever become what he became if the Colts hadn't been patient with him? Now, it only took 1 year of patience, and he was a very high draft pick. So even by today's standards, if Cam Ward had a Peyton Manning-esque year, I don't think that he'd be yanked before next year, right?
Right.
But when you're left with a super high draft pick, if next year we're talking about 5 or 6 first-round quarterbacks, which some people think may be the case, in days gone by, the Titans could have the second or the third or the fourth pick in this year upcoming draft because Cam Ward had a rough first year. And there would be no consideration towards giving up on Cam Ward. But in 2025, it would be a talking point for months if that were to come true and if the Titans were in position to potentially replace Cam Ward, because our collective patience has waned.
Yeah, 100%. And I see Malachi had a comment too. The biggest difference between Manning and Ward, Manning was 1998, technically, where A to Z and others didn't dissect every throw and decision. Fans were more patient. It wasn't the fans were more patient. Fans didn't have, fans did not have the platforms to be as loud as they are today, right? And media was not as broad and widespread. It's a lack of, it's the social media and microwave society, as somebody else mentioned as well. And Peyton Manning brought it up. Will Compton brought it up. Like if the reason why 28 interceptions have not been outdone by another rookie quarterback is because they get drug through the internet glass on the floor, and so does the coach with them, right? And I think another comp to this Peyton Manning rookie situation and what Cam Ward's going into is Peyton talked about his head coach, Jim Mora, who was a tough coach but a patient coach. Said, stick with it, stick in there. Brian Callahan's not getting fired this year unless something unforeseen happens, right? This will kind of lead into our other thing, is that the Titans are remaining patient with Cam Ward and with 2025, and they want everything to stay the same around him from the people above him and that structure to build and not reset for 2026, right? And so what if the Colts fired Jim Mora after 3-13?
Right.
And they go, playoffs, trying to win a game. And so then they draft Edgerrin James, Hall of Famer, in the 4th overall in the next draft because they sucked. And then guess what? Boom, 13-3, and Peyton Manning figured it out. It clicked. Then Eddie George runs for 60-plus yards in the RCA Dome. Titans win and go to the AFC Championship game. We all know that. So, all right, let's go ahead and ask this question here, Easton, because there's a lot of layers to this. And maybe we'll replay the Peyton conversation and talk more about a different layer here later on. But this first question is an interesting one. So I think it's just trying to understand where we are at with our patience for Cam Ward out of the gates, okay? Where are we at with our patience with Cam Ward out of the gates? How many interceptions is definitively too many? How many interceptions is too many for a Cam Ward rookie season? So how many interceptions is too many for Cam Ward in his rookie season? We will throw that in the chat. And Easton, you will tell us all about our new friends at Botero Carts.
Yes, Botero Carts. Excited to have them on for the season. The sell here is that life is short. So buy a golf cart. I mean, who doesn't want a golf cart? I know that I want a golf cart, and it's going to be tempting for me talking about Botero Carts all season long not to think about getting a golf cart, because Botero Carts is the place you need to go if you decide to get a golf cart. 0% financing for 36 months on these carts, so you don't have to have the lump sum cash on you right now. You don't have to worry about them nickel and diming you to death with some outrageous contract. Carts starting at just $6,700, open 7 days a week, full service, sales and rental, all handled by this one dealer. Botero's got you covered nose to tail. Locally owned and operated. Love a local company here in Tennessee supporting the Nashville area. 2 locations, Columbia and in Gallatin. So that if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, you're going to be relatively near one of these locations. You can get over to them in a jiffy. No dealer fee, no credit card fees, indoor stored carts. So you don't have to worry about them having sat in the sun all summer long. No credit needed as well. There's an option for that. So there is no excuse for you to head on over to Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart.
Also, our proud title sponsors, that's BTA Sports. You can download the BTA Sports app in the link in our description on Facebook and YouTube. Use the code ATOZ. That's ATOZ to get the season-long pass for you to have better, smarter sports bets and fantasy decisions with BTA Sports. Use the code ATOZ Sports, $99 for the whole season pass, plus a 14-day free trial. So check them out right there in that link in the description on both Facebook and YouTube. So, Easton, we asked the question to everybody watching here. How many interceptions is too many interceptions for Cam Ward in his rookie season? Talking about the Peyton Manning rookie year where he threw 28 as the record, and all the comparisons to that we'll play again maybe here in a bit from Bussin' with the Boys from over a year ago. What are you seeing from the chat so far?
I am scrolling. I'm seeing a lot of numbers. Rogue Gamer says 10, a very strict bar from Rogue Gamer.
Okay.
Like I says 20. Eric says 17. Daniel says 13. King JP says 15 to 20 is the range. 15, 16, 18. Tall Texan also strict in today's passing schemes. 10. I don't even know what that means. But
I'm about to in a second, when I get ESPN.com to load properly, I'm going to tell you the list of quarterbacks who threw 10 or more last year.
Okay. Darius says around 14. Cap says 10. Kyle Robinson says 20. Darius says around 15. So we're all over the place. D. Christophel says 20 plus, but it also depends on the number of touchdowns. Just Smash says 17 games, so he'll allow 1 a game because of his rookie status. So 17 is the number. That's the over-under for Just Smash. I am shocked by how many people like Joshua are saying 10 to 12. That is really, you guys are strict. Brian, 10 interceptions. Austin, do we have a list pulled up? Are we available?
I've got a list.
Okay.
So the guys who threw 10 or more interceptions last year. All right. Now the list is a very mixed bag, but I think you'll understand the point of the list. So starting at the very top, 16 picks last year. Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. 15, Geno Smith. 12, Jameis Winston. 12, Jared Goff. 12, Sam Darnold. 12, Will Levis in 12 games. 12, Brock Purdy. 12, rookie Bo Nix. 12, Anthony Richardson in 11 games. How about 12, CJ Stroud? How about 11, Aaron Rodgers? How about 11, Patrick Mahomes? How about 11, Kyler Murray? 11, Jordan Love. 10, Gardner Minshew in 10 games. And 10, rookie Drake May. So for anybody who says 10, get off your own lawn. That is stupid. That is a ridiculous take because Joe Burrow threw 9. Mason Rudolph threw 9 on top of Will Levis's 12. And so 21 interceptions, if you want to count all Titans quarterbacks from 17 games last year. I think that's useful information. Jane Daniels, all-star rookie of the year, also threw 9. Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, each threw 8. So, guys, raise the bar slightly. It's ridiculous to just say 10.
I'm trying to envision a season in which he only throws 10. It's either an incredibly efficient season or one in which he just doesn't throw the ball very much.
Or just gets hurt and plays limited games.
Well, yeah, let's not put that in the air, but
I'm
you're
just
right.
saying.
I don't want him playing football in a way that allows him to only throw 10 interceptions. Like, it's not that I want him to throw interceptions, but if he's going to be a gunslinger in a higher volume passing offense, which is what I think he wants to be, it's what I think his coaching staff is hoping he becomes. It's certainly what I want to watch on my television screen. Then you're going to throw some picks, and that's okay. My answer to this question, Austin, is that I don't often cop out on the answers.
How many is too many, right?
Yeah, I don't often cop out, but I'm gonna bold-faced cop out on this answer. And my answer is it has everything to do with how many touchdown passes he's throwing.
Okay, what's a ratio?
So I frankly don't care what the ultimate number of interceptions is. Now, don't go pulling a Jameis Winston 30 for 30 season. Let's not get crazy on that. I don't want 30 interceptions. But
if it's 30 for 30, I'm down. As a rookie?
All right, you're on an island with that one.
No.
I'm saying I'm jumping off your ship. You can have that one by yourself. I do not want a 30 for 30 season. I would like a season in which, because here's the thing with Cam. It is all about the comeback for him. It is all about when he gets knocked down, how he responds. And we've talked about it all summer long, that juxtaposition between what we believe he can do based on college and his mindset versus what we saw from Will Levis last year, where it's Cam Ward throws an interception, makes a big mistake, single-handedly puts the team in a hole. And what do we see him do in college a whole lot? Be the one that single-handedly pulls them back out, something that Will Levis wasn't able to do last year. Will Levis makes a mistake, he'd get tight, he'd get in his head. One mistake would lead to spiraling, right? So for me, it's, can Cam Ward avoid spiraling? Can Cam Ward be, can he has amnesia on each drive that he goes out there? And can he do more good than bad? That's really what I care about. So as long as the touchdown to interception ratio is a positive one for him, and obviously you don't want it to be 21-20 either. You'd like it to be maybe a 3-2 ratio touchdown to interception. But for me, it's less about the numbers and more about how he comes back and how they allow him to continue to gunsling. Because that's the other thing. I don't want him going out there, making some mistakes, and the coaching staff yanking the reins on him. That's not a thing that I think would be good for his development this year either. And that goes back to what Peyton was talking about. Not only would it have been bad for his development to fire the coach or make changes in year 2, but even in that first year, if they had not allowed him to go out there and make mistakes and continue to push and continue to experiment, if they had tried to make this a baby-proof, dummy-proof training wheels offense for him midseason because they were scared of him making more mistakes, that also would have stunted his growth, and I think it would stunt Cam Ward's growth if the Titans did the same. I don't think they will, but that's something that would concern me if he starts out with a higher number of mistakes.
Yeah, I think I and maybe Easton are missing with some people in the chat is because we're asking the question, how many is too many? Like, where is the line of like, okay, now this is bad, right? Like understanding the interceptions happen and every interception has its own story, right? It tells its own story of whose fault is it? How did it happen? Good play of the defense, bad throw, bad read, receiver mess up, tip drill, whatever. And then you've got just the fact of like, natural pushing the ball down the field. Do you throw a pick at the end, a Hail Mary at the end of the first half that doesn't matter? Like all these things go into play here. But we're asking how many is too many? Like how many are like, oh, this is bad now. And I think that's where people are like off on this because Caps, I don't know. I hope this is sarcasm. 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions is fine. Fine.
He's technically right. That is fine. I agree.
That's fine as hell. Like that's not
right.
Just fine. So 30 and 15, that's also incredible. Like that's rookie of the year status, which
Yes.
maybe that's your expectation, but we're not talking about the expectations. We're not talking about what success. We're doing the opposite. Like how
Also
many
technically
is too
true
many?
from Corey here. 100 is too many. I'll say it. That's too many.
Landon says ideally no more than 12. I think that's, still not okay. It's a high bar. King Titan says 2-to-1 TD to INT ratio minimum.
Wow.
I think that's a really high bar there too. Andrew says, what about a 30 and 25 season? I think if you're getting north to 25 touchdowns for Cam Ward, I don't give a damn how many interceptions follow.
Bingo. That's the answer. Is if Cam Ward, this is a high enough volume passing offense for Cam Ward to be throwing 25 to 30 interceptions, and unless his interception number starts with a 4, I don't care.
Which is never happened before.
Right.
So that's where I'm saying if the interception number starts with a 2, then the touchdown number has to be above it. So where do I say too many interceptions? Like that I'm like kind of freaking out. Like, I just said 30 and 25. That sign me up, because you're having success to throw 30 touchdowns. You're having enough learning moments to throw 25 interceptions, but you're going through all of those waves and all those experiences. So I honestly think how many interceptions is probably too many. I think it's when the interception number starts with a 2 and touchdowns are less than that number. That's too many. I'm okay with anything 1 through 19. Like I'm living with that. But when it gets to 20 interceptions, I have to know other context around it. And that's where I'm looking kind of sideways at some decision making and some bad practices.
Well, let me ask you this, Austin. Are you expecting that high a volume of touchdowns from Cam Ward? Because I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking about like extreme. Like we're talking extreme here. Like when does he throw so many? Like how many interceptions are you like questioning the future of the quarterback? Right.
Sure.
And that's where I'm saying, okay, maybe this guy's way too reckless, or but as long as the touchdowns are matching it and slightly above, then I'm okay with it.
I know. I just think it may be worth reframing the discussion a little bit, because if we are expecting, if the over under on, I should go look this up in a minute. What's the over under on Cam Ward passing touchdowns this season? I would guess, total shot in the dark, it's around the 20, 21 touchdowns mark. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit off, but we can check that here in a second. But whatever it is, I mean, looking last year at the touchdowns thrown, Jaden Daniels, obviously, perhaps the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time, threw 25 touchdowns. That's a heavy number. CJ Stroud threw 20. Caleb Williams, a guy whose rookie season we have talked about Cam Ward, maybe that being the bar for, threw 20. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP, threw 18, by the way. Totally different offense. Yeah, last year. Totally different offense.
How many 1-yard touchdown runs did he have?
Man, we don't need to talk about that.
Did he have more 1-yard rushing touchdowns?
No, there's no way he had more touchdowns running, but it was, it was probably at least 10 more, right? So, yeah, I think that if Cam Ward throws, if we're talking about a 20 touchdown season, 18, 19, 20, 21 touchdowns for him, then that interception number needs to be, less than 20, ideally, I think is fair.
Yeah. And so somebody asked, would I take a 24 touchdowns, 19 interception season? Absolutely. Like that would be because that's, you're setting yourself up for the long haul the right way. I think it's you're learning the hard stuff. There are no expectations for the Titans this year. Like we know that, right? Like we have, and by the way, Jalen Hurts, 14 rushing touchdowns last year.
Did
you hear me?
That. Yeah, I'm sorry. 18, I was looking at
in 15 games, 18 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns. Crazy. Going back to the Cam
Ward number, by the way, is over under 19.5 passing touchdowns this year. That's juiced to the under. So Vegas thinks it will be exactly 20.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair expectation when you look at the Titans and what they can do. But somebody asked, did Cam Ward throw a lot of picks in college? Not really. I mean, he threw 7 last year, 39 touchdowns, 7 picks. But his interceptions came at some goofy times to put his team in a hole. And then he got them out of it.
Mhm.
And not every time. The two games they lost against Georgia Tech and against Syracuse, he threw for 300 plus. He threw for 340 plus with 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in those 2 losses combined. So he was not the problem in those 2 losses. That was the Miami defense as well. But he, in Cal, Vatech, those games, he created some bad situations to pull himself out, and he did. And so that's where I want to get back to the Peyton Manning conversation and clip again, because I do think another layer of this conversation is needed because, like I mentioned, I was going earlier, the Titans don't have expectations to really win much. Like we'll get to our season win-loss predictions on Thursday with JT and Easton, and on Friday with Zach and I. And so we'll do all that. But, we're thinking between, 8 or less, right? I don't know. We'll figure that out. So what does that mean long-term, and what do those games look like? That's what I kind of want to get to next. So let's go ahead and hear from Peyton Manning again here in a second. But before we do that, Easton, tell the people about the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic care. We love our friends over at BJI. They are here in the Middle Tennessee area, so they're very easy to find right off of 65 in Franklin. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust, and we trust boneandjointtn.org for all of our needs in that department. Check them out because they have a one-stop shop set up for you in Franklin. Clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, rehab. It's all on that one campus, a state-of-the-art rehab facility they've got to help you with your recovery. Schedule an appointment today at boneandjointtn.org.
Also powered by our friends at BTA Sports. Download the BTA Sports app. Use our code ATOZ when you download it. Use the link in the show description on Facebook and on YouTube, and you get a full season pass for $99 plus a 14-day free trial, so you can be a better sports bettor and a smarter fantasy football decision maker. That deal, $99 with a 14-day free trial with code ATOZ, is only available through September. So use that link in the description and Facebook and YouTube right there. Shout out to King VC, who says, lock in and like the show. Hit that like button if you have not yet. He thinks 13 interceptions is too many. I think that's too few for King VC's bar there. So let's hear from Peyton Manning again, because I want us to focus on what Peyton said about the close losses the Colts had in his 3-13 rookie season in 1998.
Starters. So put all these guys in there now.
Kind of like, as competitors, when you have an up and down year like that, and then you're 3-13, you're like you were their first round pick, and you do set the record for interceptions. Like the mental fortitude on trying to keep the noise out of your head going into that next year. Because I was obviously young then, but now thinking about it, if a rookie quarterback is breaking that record, they're just getting drug across the mud.
It was tough, and I think playing in Indianapolis probably would have been different had I been with the Jets. If I would have been with the Jets, and Parcells would have benched me way before the 16th game. But I don't know, maybe somewhere Indianapolis at the time being a smaller market, maybe that helped me a little bit. So it was bad. We were playing on the CBS broadcast team every weekend.
At noon.
There was no Madden, there was no Nance or Summerall or Phil Simms coming to Indy. No Monday Night TV. So, but it's the kind of season that can kind of make or break you, right? And we actually were in some games. Everybody, nobody was getting up to play us, right? We played the Niners that year. Steve Young, Jerry Rice. We played the Jets, who went to the AFC Championship. They had us as a circled win. So we actually had some fairly close games. We'd blow it in the end. But that's what I kind of went off of. I'm like, I think I actually can do this if I just don't throw 3 interceptions in the first half. So it didn't break me. And my coaches, Jim Moore, I had a tough coach, but he was loyal. He stuck with me. He said, hey, stay in there. Keep learning. We're going to fight through this thing. And sure enough, we did. I'm not sure if it's been, but at the time it was
So there's Peyton Manning there. So 3-13, followed by a 13-3 season his second year. And the whole idea of those close games. And, if I didn't throw 3 picks in the first half, maybe we would have been in a better spot, right? So I went and counted it up. And I think you can probably count up a lot of the teams on the Titans schedule of like how many fan bases are circling the Titans right now as a win, right? I think many, right? I mean, we could just do that here in a second. But the Colts had 8 of their 13 losses were by one score. So 8 points being one score, right? With a 2-point conversion opportunity. So 8 of the 13 one-score losses, and against some pretty good teams, right? Now, they got blown out against the Jets and the Patriots, and then some other games as well, against the Bills and some good football teams in the 90s. But, I mean, I think that's the thing, too, is what does that mean for, like, close games, close losses, one-score losses this year, and how does that play into this 2025 Titans team, Easton? What are your thoughts on that from Peyton?
Yeah, I was trying to on the fly find, at one point I knew this, and over the summer I've forgotten it, what the one-score record for the Titans was last season. I know that it was quite bad because to only win 3 games, you have to lose practically all of the one-score games that you're in. Now, the Titans did get blown out some as well, but that's the nature of the NFL, right? Every single year around November, December, a staple graphic to go flying around the internet is well, here's what the AFC and NFC playoff standings would look like if every one-score game result was flipped. And it'd be like, oh, the Chiefs are the 14th seed in the AFC, and the Jets would be the 1 seed or something like that. That's the margins we play in the NFL, right? So much of it is coming down to essentially coin flips at the end of the game. Now, that's not to say that it's all luck. The better teams perform better in the clutch, right? We know this. But there is a luck factor, and there is an element of regression there because it's not a sticky stat. When you track year to year teams' performances in one-score games, even the best of the best, it regresses to the mean eventually because there is a luck element involved. And last year, the Titans were quite bad in one-score games. I know this because they were 2-6. Thank you. They were the worst NFL team in history when it comes to sports betting because they went, I believe, 1-16 against the spread, which is 2-15. They were the worst team ATS in the history.
They covered against Miami because they won that as an.
Okay, so they went 2-15. Whatever it was, I know for a fact.
I think they pushed against the Patriots in overtime.
Okay, well they were the worst team in NFL history. However long Vegas has been tracking it against the spread, which means you lost a lot of games, not just by 1 point or 2 points, but just barely too many points to have lost by what you were supposed to lose to, according to Vegas. That's neither here nor there. The point is, that's going to regress. If they were 2-6 last year, that's not to say, well, this year they're going to be 6-2. No, but are the odds that they are closer to 500 this year strong? Yes, especially when things are supposed to normalize when it comes to, because what caused them to lose the spread a number of times last year? Not just lose the game, but lose the spread. It was, oh, well, if they hadn't allowed that, kickoff return touchdown. Oh, well, if Will Levis hadn't, yoinked the ball sideways and allowed like the ridiculous turnover that led to the free 3 points. It was the little disaster thing. Yeah, it was the little disaster things that put you over the edge from barely losing honorably to losing in embarrassing fashion and losing the spread. So yeah, that's something that I think will change this year.
And I think the other 2-6 in one-score games doesn't show the whole story because Easton, you and I were talking throughout the season and live, week to week of how many times the Titans have the lead or a tie at halftime.
Yeah, one-score halves.
Yeah, one-score like first halves. I remember we're sitting there, hey, 10-10. Titans are in Buffalo. Mason Rudolph looks pretty good.
I was about to say back-to-back weeks, Buffalo and Detroit. We were sitting at halftime like, wow, they're taking the Lions and the Bills pretty seriously here, aren't they? And then they get murdered in the second half.
The Lions one was like, it was 28-14 at half, but it should have been 28-21 at half because they botched the end of half goal to go situation.
Yeah, I mean, didn't the Titans have the lead halfway through the second quarter? And then they allowed 2 quick touchdowns right before half, and it took all the air.
Something crazy.
I believe that's what happened.
Yeah. So, and then you have like games like the Vikings game and the Chargers game, right? Like the Roger McCreary fumble return for a touchdown that was overturned because they went like half frame by half frame for Justin Herbert's throwing motion because the NFL's like, hey, the Chargers need to beat the Titans. Come on, let's go. And so
That's what happened.
I honestly, I do think that's what happened. I think they hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button and figured that out. So, but that was a close game. The Vikings game the next week, I think objectively, you can say had a lot of questionable things that happened.
That is true.
And so those were 10-point losses that could have been way different. So, if you take, let's just say you take those 2 10-point losses where the games were actually closer than the 2 scores they ended at, you're talking about like 2-8 in those games. And so how do you get to even on that? What does that mean overall? That means you're winning, if you're even, you're winning 6 or 7 games last year. So I think it's pretty impressive how they were able to just squander all that. So with Peyton Manning, 8 of those 13 one-score losses, and I think it's just trying to find out how can you be more competitive late. And I expect this team to be more competitive late than last year's team because the defense was pretty good until they could no longer be pretty good by holding up.
Right. And for me, in the defense is an element of it. I don't want to dismiss that. But for me, it really does all come down to Cam Ward's ability to not spiral and for the offense to stay on the field for longer and not force the defense back out there. And for Cam Ward, another thing that we haven't really talked about, and frankly, I think we'll get our first glimpse of it this weekend. When the Titans are trailing and forced into obvious pass situations, what does that look like? Because that wasn't Will Levis's forte either. The Titans are going to do their best to keep the game on schedule and not have the pendulum tilt too far in that direction, because for any quarterback, it's a disadvantage to be put into obvious passing situations every time you go out there. But against Denver, I think a lot of the second half could be that. And if that's what that is, how does Cam Ward handle that level of pressure? How does the offensive line hold up against that level of pressure? I think those are 2 things that should be improved this year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm going to play a game here in a second. So I'll do this on the fly game. But first, I want to tell you guys about our great friends at the Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're online at bartondrury.com, and we have their phone number. How about this? This is new. Easton, I teased this to you last week.
You did.
Giveaway, right? So if you call Barton Drury Insurance Group at 615-806-1265, 615-806-1265 for the phone number right there. And if you inquire about any type of insurance policy that you got, because they've got umbrella, they've got rental, home, auto, surety bonds, right? They've got 401k plan that you can do individually or as a family, or if you're an employer like us, like Zach and I, you can do all types of things, right? But if you call Barton Drury Insurance Group with that phone number, 615-806-1265, and you tell them A to Z Sports is where you heard about them, you will be entered to win a giveaway for a Titans jersey of your choice from me, from A to Z Sports. So do that. We'll do that once a month throughout the season. So at the end of September, everybody who calls Barton Drury Insurance Group for a inquiry, right? A to Z Sports will give one of those people every month a chance, a Titans jersey of their choice, randomly selected here. So that's a giveaway we're doing here with Barton Drury Insurance Group. They're great partners. They're big time Titans fans and sports people overall. So check them out online at bartondrury.com. But that phone number, 615-806-1265, Titans jersey of your choice via A to Z Sports if you inquire about any type of insurance policy with bartondrury.com.
You could be the proud owner of a Xavier Restrepo Titans jersey, should you choose. We are powered by BTA Sports. Excited to be partnered with BTA Sports all season long, powering our bets here on the show. Going to be doing a lot more betting talk on the show, so I hope you guys are ready to make some money, and BTA Sports is who's going to help us with that. So download the app, use code ATOZ Sports, check them out. BTA Sports, dominating the game.
All right, so I'm going to go to this comment from Billy, I think it was. Bill,
right,
said, I think the Titans are going to surprise the people this year. So Peyton said that a lot of teams that they played as his rookie year had wins circled. How many teams have the Titans circled as a win on this schedule? All of them.
Every single one.
You think every single fan base has the Titans circled as a win?
Yeah, I was joking about this with somebody yesterday where they were, I forget what the conversation before this was, but it led up to talking about, well, we were talking about games on the Titans schedule that seem winnable. And they offhand were like, well, and both the Colts games seem winnable. And I just pointed out the juxtaposition of how Titans fans probably look at their schedule and think, oh, well, both Colts games are winnable. What do you think the Colts fans are thinking? They're looking at this schedule and going, "Oh well, the Titans games, those two are winnable." So
Yeah,
I don't see
I'm
a
not
single
talking
team
about,
on
like,
here that doesn't expect to
toss-ups.
beat the Titans this year.
No, different. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Like, when I do schedule predictions, I go through and I do the automatic wins, the automatic losses, and then the toss-ups.
Sure.
So I want teams that think the Titans are an automatic win.
Automatic win. Okay, so a
Yes.
higher bar.
Yes, an automatic win, that are circling, that are just like passing it over. They see the Titans thumbtack logo, they say, okay, W, green W, roll, keep on going.
All right, you ready
so-
to count?
Yeah.
Broncos,
1,
Rams,
2,
Texans twice.
5, no, 4. Sorry.
I mean, I think the Cardinals fans are pretty hot, but we'll not give it to them. We'll not give it to
Okay.
them. We'll keep the Raiders off as well, conservatively.
Yep.
The Patriots with the Vrabel thing, 1,000% they expect to murder the Titans.
Is that fair? I think that's just.
I don't know if it's fair, but if we're keeping the Cardinals and the Raiders off, we're putting the Patriots on because they expect to murder the Titans.
That's 5.
We'll not include the Colts either time. The
Yep.
Chargers absolutely do.
Yep, 6.
I don't think that the Seahawks do necessarily. The Jaguars, we're not going to. I mean, let's give one of the Jaguars because they're pretty hot about their offense being a lot better. So one of the 2 Jaguars games, we'll give it
7.
to them. Not the Browns, definitely the Niners, definitely the Chiefs.
8, 10, 9.
Not
So
the
9.
Not the Saints by any means.
So 9.
In fact, the Saints game may be the only one that even my bar, the original bar, maybe the Saints don't expect to win that game. I don't know what Saints fans think about that situation.
I don't think Saints fans care about this season.
Sure.
So I think so we just counted 9. Is that
Sounds
less
right.
than you thought it was going to be? Yes, it is.
I mean, yes.
yes, it is.
But also
It is
no, because they play in the AFC South and they have a 4th place schedule. So they got some they got some
Yeah, but they
dum-dums
got the
on the
Niners
roster.
because they were a 4th place schedule.
Well, yeah, and they also got the Saints and the Browns.
The Saints.
Good point. Not the Saints, the Browns. Who
Yeah.
pull that back up? Who are there handed to them only because they're
Oh, we
4th
have
place?
2 schedule graphics.
We
so now
do.
you're
I was
swapping
afraid
them.
that was the wrong one for a second. The
4th place games you're looking at.
Well, the ones that they only got because of the 4th place schedule and not from a divisional standpoint. So the Browns,
the Saints, and the
Niners.
No,
No, not the
because you
Niners.
play the West. Yeah, it's just those 2.
There should be another AFC team that's like that.
Patriots.
Oh, Patriots. That's right. Patriots, Browns, Saints. Good point. So yeah, two teams that are of benefit and one that people seem to think will. I listened to Kaharski on a podcast yesterday, and I think that he shares the sentiment of a lot of people. He expects the Patriots to. He thinks Mike Vrabel. What did he say? He said, "I'm not sure that Mike Vrabel has even game planned for the first 6 games of the year. He might just be focused on the Titans game already," which is a joke. But also, if you don't think Mike Vrabel, the psychopath that he is going to come into town and pull out every stop, maybe a little bit irresponsibly for week 7 to make sure that he murders his old team, you got another thing coming. He 1,000% is going to do that. Now, will they win? I'm not as convinced as a lot of folks. Like, I want to see it with the Patriots first, but we're going to be spending a lot of time these first 6 weeks talking about the game of the week and the upcoming Patriots game. I feel like that's going to be a common theme.
So, but 9 games on the schedule that are circled as dubs for the other fan bases.
Here's a fun one, Austin. Of those 9, where would you set the Titans win upset over under? Is it a half game? Is it 1.5 games? How many of those 9 do you expect the Titans to like? But at the end of the year, we revisit this and we're like, wow, of those 9 games, the Titans won blank. 0?
The Niners are interesting because it's late in the year. Who knows what they're looking like? So I think the Niners, it's in San Fran. So, did we count both Texans games?
I did.
I would say
they could get one of those.
I think you could set it at 2.5.
Okay. Would you take the over or the under?
I don't know. That's why I set the line there because it's really hard to like. If it was 1.5, I'd take the over, but
Sure.
at 2.5, I'm like,
Sounds like you would stay away, but if you're forced to take it, probably
yeah. I think I'm setting the correct line at 2.5. That makes it harder to pull the trigger, right? Which is what the point is.
Right. I think that they would. I think that I would take the under. I think that they'll win 2 of those, and they may luck their way into a third, like somebody's quarterback gets hurt, or the worst game of the year for Brock Purdy or something like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree completely. So like I'm so glad that we are finally to the point of having the games, because we're exhausting every last topic that we have in the next couple of days.
I have run out, man. I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, we're going to do our season predictions here the next couple of days. JT and Easton tomorrow, Zach and myself on Friday. So that'll be a fun
Let me
show.
tease one thing, by the way. If you guys are old head Easton and JT podcast enjoyers, all 7 of you, if you know, tomorrow we'll be doing a little bit of Titans regular season take purging. So if you've got some takes to purge from your soul, join us tomorrow. It'll be a fun time.
Sounds good. We got the takes on the new depth chart. What is relevant and what is irrelevant? We'll discuss that. But first, I want to tell you guys about our new friends at Window Nation, windownation.com. They have a great deal coming right now. You can save big this month with buying 2 windows and get 2 windows for free, and you make no payments for 2 years. So you don't have to deal with any monthly payments, not a down payment or interest until 2027. The Titans will be playing a football game in their brand new stadium before you have to do anything and spend any dollar, pay any dollar to Window Nation for your new windows, as long as you do it this month, because the sale does end September 30th. That's buy 2 windows and you get 2 windows for free with no payments, no monthly payment, no down payment, no interest until 2027. So don't miss out on this. It's Window Nation's most popular offer of the year. So schedule it fast. You get a free estimate with the pros at Window Nation, a free estimate. So maybe you're just on the fence. Maybe you're like, I kind of need new windows. Let's go take advantage of this opportunity. Free estimate at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION at windownation.com.
We're powered by BTA Sports, better for bettors. Excited to be powered by BTA Sports, helping us with all of our bets this season. Check them out. Download the app and use code ATOZ Sports.
All right, Easton, you have quick hitting topics from the depth chart, because you talked about this last night on prime time. So now I got to be included on this. So I will let you go through and present your topics here, and we will see if they are relevant or irrelevant, as the depth chart is the unofficial official depth chart. Or the official, unofficial depth chart, however way you're going to put it, overall.
It's just the depth chart. Let's be real. It's the depth chart.
Yeah.
It's the depth chart. Here is what we're looking at, and I apologize. I don't know why it's the lowest quality image ever, but you can still read it, so that's all that matters. The biggest thing that stands out about the offense has to be that Alec Iamaner is a starting receiver. Austin, you've been around A to Z Sports this summer. You've been reading my work. You've been talking with me on these shows. Should we be surprised by this?
Well, surprised? I think
should this have caught us off guard?
No, not caught you off guard, but like slightly pleasantly surprised that week 1 is when Alec Iamaner passed Van Jefferson as a starter.
Sure.
I think that's a good surprise. Pleasantly surprised is my answer to that. Because I expected it to be maybe like week 3 or 4.
Sure.
Like on paper, because so that's the thing about depth chart, especially at a position like wide receiver where you're rotating so many guys in. When does the on paper passing happen? Because the off the paper passing had already happened, right? Yep. But how many times do you see coaches just, the whole seniority rule of saying, the veteran's going to be the de facto starter, but the younger guy might get more snaps. So I think it's a pleasant surprise. I do think it's a relevant move there, because Alec Iamaner got even and passed Van Jefferson a lot faster than I think we even expected.
I remember you and I in the spring, we were doing a mini camp hot takes episode, and the masses, they giggled at the idea that Alec Iamaner would be a household name this fall. And in that breakdown, I said I think he'd be a week 1 starter, and that's perhaps my greatest victory lap of the offseason. So not to be the I told you so guy, but I did tell you so. In all seriousness, I do think that another thing that we have been preaching throughout the summer, I've been saying this coaching staff is they are promising to not be conservative when it comes to getting the young guys up the depth chart, getting them in, getting them experience. They're not going to play the seniority game the same way that you may be used to playing the seniority game, the weeks of eye rolling and the weeks of caution that other teams, the past Titans teams may have taken. Now, we heard that a lot, and we talked about that on the show a lot. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing for them to do it. And I think it's very encouraging that before week 1, we're already seeing them saying, screw it. Like, Alec, you're not only are we going to put you out there, but we're going to put you on paper at the top of the depth chart because that's where we want you this season. And that's a very good thing in my estimation.
Totally. Yep. All right, what's your next one?
This one's kind of brief. I want to get your thoughts on whether it actually matters or not. Khalil Mullings, rookie running back, buried here on the depth chart behind Julius Chestnut, a guy that we were talking about potentially being a replacement candidate if they'd found somebody better on the waiver wire or on the free agent market after cut down day. Are you surprised by him being third in the running back room? And do you think it matters?
I do think it matters. I'm not surprised. It matters because of pass protection, because
right.
They, I think if Tajay Spears was active and healthy, would Mullings be the third back and Chestnut be inactive? Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because you trust Pollard and Spears to pass protect, and Khalil can be the third, right? So I think that's literally, it's a pass protection situation. That's all it is. So I'm not surprised. It is relevant.
Last one on the offense. How about Lloyd Cushenberry being listed, obviously, as the starting center, but for him to be listed there on this depth chart without the Titans' real backup center, Corey Levin, who's on the practice squad, but that functionally he's on the active roster and he'll be back on the active roster eventually. Is it any more encouraging to you, his availability this first week? And I guess maybe the better question is, how confident are you that it's just going to go off without a hitch?
I mean, I think Lloyd will be fine. Like physically, like he might, I think the Achilles will be fine. I think he'll have to kind of figure some other stuff out. So I think that's where I'm at. Because as soon as they waived Corey Levin from the active roster or cut him, released him after the main cut downs, I was like, then they have all the confidence in the world that Cushenberry's fine. And they're going to put him on the practice squad, do the whole call up thing. And so I think I feel pretty confident in the Achilles recovery of Cushenberry.
On the defensive side of the ball, we've got Cedric Gray officially listed ahead of James Williams for the first time on paper. Now, after the preseason finale, we talked about this being the reality, Austin. But do you think that this is maybe the question is this the right decision for the Titans to, after a very strong final 2 or 3 weeks of camp, where we saw Cedric Gray get the start in the final 2 preseason games, do well with those opportunities, for him to now be listed as the starter alongside Cody Barton?
I think there's something else here that's more interesting than just Cedric Gray being a starter is a number change.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see, I saw Jim Wyatt tweeting about number changes yesterday. I didn't see him tweet about that one. So
33, we're in the old North Carolina number.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I think
take some getting used to.
I
already hate numbers. I hate when they change numbers.
Overall, it doesn't matter. I think those two guys are interchangeable. I think it's a game plan week by week situation based on the opponent. I think Cedric Gray is probably your traditional better starter next to Cody Barton than James Williams Jr., but they're both going to be playing a lot.
And then finally, the special teams. What matters here, and somehow the quality went down even further, the punt return and kick return positions. We've got Chimere Dike. You know what? One last victory lap for us here. How long this summer, Austin, have I been saying that this coaching staff ideally would like Chimere Dike to be a two-way returner? And here at the buzzer, we have him listed as the starter as both returner spots. Now, is it a good decision? We've talked about this. We don't know. We'll find out.
I think this is the riskiest decision that they've made.
I'm also kind of the sleeper here is that Bryce Oliver, backup kick returner. How about that?
That makes sense. And Tyler Lockett, backup punt returner, makes sense too. I think this is JT and I talked about this yesterday. A single play gone wrong by a return guy is a bigger opportunity for the game to be blown up than anything that can happen on offense or defense in one play, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the biggest risk of putting DK back there to, one, catch it and to return it successfully overall. But, I think people feel very confident about him, like returning punts. Kicks I'm not as concerned about. Punts are the more dangerous job.
Nick Suss put it this way yesterday in the media room, and I think that he's all over it. He said that he's with Titan special teams this year as compared to last year. He's very confident that the 10 role players on teams are better, and that eliminates a pretty big portion of the disaster possibility, which is good. But he's also wondering if the skill position portion of special teams is all worse. Like both returner positions, we don't know, could be worse. Both kicking duties could be worse. So we'll see how that dynamic works out for them.
I said yesterday, I think Joey Sly is my biggest concern about special teams, and I feel pretty good overall about the others on the coverages and stuff. DK, I have a concern about slightly. And then, yeah, I think Johnny Hekker should be fine.
Okay. All right. So there's your depth chart.
Okay.
You want to do
I
some
like
trivia?
That. Let's do some trivia. You doing Trivia Master today?
Got it.
All right. Here we go. Trivia time to wrap up this Wednesday show. Already moving to this week. Out to Wilson County Hyundai, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon. Check them out online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Okay, Easton, I am ready if you are ready.
Hit.
All right, here we go. Trivia time to wrap this thing up. It's the first time in a bit that I am not the trivia host.
All right.
I don't think you and I have done trivia in a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
So Orlando says 4.5.
I like that number.
Okay.
He's accounting for rust.
Maybe. So NFL is where we're going to start, go around the horn and finish with Celebrity Mashup. 4.5 minutes is the over-under from our guy Orlando. Let's do it.
Chat, lock in. Help us out. NFL. Tyrod Taylor has been the week 1 starting quarterback for the Bills, Browns, Texans, and this AFC team.
Oh, God. Chargers?
Yes. Herbert's
Isn't that when he had his lung punctured?
Yep. Good call. What is the most populated country that is part of political union? Wait, what is the most populated country that is part of political union known as the European Union? That's a weirdly worded. Yeah. Okay. The most populated in the EU. Well, Britain's no longer in it. So is Germany or France more populated? I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to guess Germany's more people.
Matt says Germany.
I think it's Germany. You want to send it on Germany?
I mean, sure.
Anybody want to?
I mean, this is like a coin flip. It doesn't like. I think it's going to be like Germany or Lucas is Germany. Jeff.
It's Germany.
Okay, sweet, good.
Former SNL cast member, was the star and creator of the sketch series Portlandia, and was the band leader for Late Night with Seth Meyers. Oh, shoot! I know who it is. I don't know the name. When somebody in this chat says it, I'm going to know it. Oh,
I don't know. I'm always
former SNL cast member, star and creator of Portlandia, band leader for Late Night with Seth Meyers. Fred. That's
Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen. Okay.
Yep. Good musician, Fred is. Sam Jones played a football star and defender of Earth in this cult classic 1980 space opera superhero film. What?
I don't know.
Space opera superhero film. That's crazy.
Who was a football star? This is a wild plot. I gotta feel like I need to watch
what
this.
Movie is this?
Is this going to be on
Flash Gordon?
Oh, okay. Sam Jones. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that's what Flash Gordon was about. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. Are lyrics from this 03 Evanescence song. Evanescence. I said that wrong. Well, I only know one Evanescence song, and I don't think this is the one. So, any big Evanescence fans out there?
Not exactly my my cup of tea back in 03.
Wake me up inside.
Except for that. That's a banger always.
My Immortal. I've heard of the name of that, but I'm not familiar with the song.
Strangest way to describe Flash Gordon ever, I guess.
True. Helps build strong bodies 8 ways and helps build strong bodies 12 ways are slogans associated with this brand of sliced bread. Did the person who made today's trivia, were they drunk when they typed these questions up? Sliced bread. Helps build bodies 8 ways and helps build bodies 12 ways. What is this about?
I was thinking it was going to be V12 juice for a second, but now
what kind of sliced bread helps build bodies? What are we talking about? It's not Bunny or
Wonder
Sarah
Bread?
Lee. Is it
I think
Wonder Bread? What a
Bread, yeah,
lie.
Yeah.
What a lie.
Bread
That's
is the most-
crazy. The fourth longest active playoff drought in MLB belongs to this franchise, whose most recent postseason appearance consisted of them winning the World Series. Is it the Cubs?
fourth longest. I mean, that's such a.
Have the Cubs been to the playoffs since they won the series, whenever that was, in 15 or 16, or it could be the Royals. The Royals also in that category.
Tigers.
When did
winning
Tigers,
the World Series. Though.
I think Bearded Kuno is right. Royals or Cubs. That's where my head is at.
I was saying, honestly,
Nats. Oh, it could be the Nats. The Nats have been terrible since they won.
Nats.
Shoot, there are a lot.
Yeah,
There are a lot. There are a lot of MLB teams that have been terrible since they won. Royals, Cubs, or Nats.
2016 seems too recent, though. Fourth longest active drought, right?
Rangers. The Rangers have been
Rangers
in the playoffs recently.
They just won.
Yeah. Cubs was my initial. White Sox could be the Sox. Sam would know this.
No, when the last time that might be the longest. Because when's the last time the White Sox won the World Series?
Well, I mean, they won in the last 20 years, I think, didn't they? I don't know.
Royals were 15, so that's 10
I think it's
years.
Royals or Cubs.
Just go Royals.
All right.
That was a popular answer.
Dang. Since getting drafted 10th overall in 2018, this current Knicks player has never missed a game during his NBA career. Wow.
Oh.
10th overall in 2018. Current Knicks player. Huh.
But he didn't say drafted by the Knicks.
No. I'd imagine not drafted by the Knicks based on the wording.
Jalen Brunson? That checks.
Never missed a game? Sounds sort of right.
Yeah.
It's the right year. Nope.
Okay. Oh.
All right. On the outside, that is John Bernthal. How do you spell his name? Is it just John?
Mikal Bridges.
Bernthal. There we go.
Who's the inside?
And then who is that woman? I don't know.
I do recognize her, but I suck at these.
I'm not sure I even recognize her, to be honest with you. Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it. So which of these do we feel more confident about?
Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges. Okay.
MIK, yeah.
All right, let's see if we were right about the three that it could have been with MLB. It was the Nationals. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat was all over that. Let me just scroll back up and find it. Orlando was all over the Nats. So was Matt. Matt was throwing out good guesses, but he said multiple.
We were appropriately identifying the teams it could have been because the Nats, the Cubs, the Royals have all largely been terrible since they won in the mid 2010s. But the Nats have been super terrible, so that checks out because the Nats that whole team basically there was a mass exodus of all those players right after they won the series, and they've never been good since.
Yeah, that was a challenging trivia.
It was. What was our time? I didn't even
slow.
5. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, better luck tomorrow.
Yep. All right, guys, that is it for us today. Tomorrow's a Thursday, which means season predictions in 2 parts. And Easton and JT will be live at 8-ish. And then Buck Rising live tonight for prime time. Zach and I'll be on Friday. Catch you guys later on. Appreciate it as always. Content to come as always. ADZsports.com/Titans. See you later.